The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has officially broken the controversial blogging site Kotaku. There has been a long litany and history between Nintendo and Kotaku, and it's all come to a boiling point today in what they recently talked about, which we're going to get into. But before we get into that, we need to rewind back to April 26th. That was the large preview day where all sorts of content creators and also websites got to go to New York and demo 70 minutes of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and put out content on there. Now, there was embargoes for certain things that can be said or not said, but for the most part, we got a lot of new gameplay footage and information from those previews. However, Kotaku was not one of those sites that got to preview The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and their senior editor, Mr. Ethan G, had a little bit to say about that. Now, on Twitter on April 26th, he had this to say: "It's preview day for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, a huge game I would love for Kotaku to be able to inform its millions of readers about firsthand. Unfortunately, Nintendo still has it blacklisted from advanced coverage, a move I would argue is both unprofessional and coercive." So very interesting that he says that. And I want you guys to focus on unprofessional and coercive. So he's trying to sit there and say, well, it's nothing that we did at Kotaku. We're completely fine. We're completely good. We didn't do anything wrong. It's unprofessional and coercive. They are manipulative to do this to us. We have millions of readers. So there's a little bit of entitlement there, which is fine. They do have millions of readers, or at least they say they have millions. We do know that Kotaku is a popular site just based off of Google research. You can see the traffic that's coming in. So it's not like they don't have a sizable audience there. However, it's interesting with those two at the last point, coercive and unprofessional. Now let's rewind a little bit back to why Kotaku is even blacklisted in the first place, which Mr. Ethan G did not talk about. Now listen, this isn't about a defense of Nintendo or anything like that. Nintendo can blacklist or not blacklist whoever they want. They're a business, they can do what they want. I don't really care. Kotaku can write and do what they want. Now, whether those two get along or not and they want to give you coverage or whatever, that's that. But I'm simply talking about it from the outside looking in. But I'm also looking at it from someone who also used to run a website, and I do get advanced coverage for certain games here and there. So a while back, when Metroid Dread came out in 2021, Kotaku wrote an article discussing why people should pirate or emulate the game right after the game came out. So I'm pretty sure Nintendo didn't like that one bit. Now, even if you go a bit before that, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, they wrote an article saying that there was a slur in the lyrics for Persona 5 in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which the person just misheard it. So they didn't really do a good job of cross-referencing and finding information. They just published that saying that this major game has a really unfortunate slur in there. So those are two major things that they've done that would probably get you blacklisted if you did that in some type of way for most companies. And I'm pretty sure Kotaku is blacklisted by other companies as well. It's not just Nintendo. Now, fast forward all the way to this point. Recently, we had an article that came out from them, and it says everything we've learned about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom from the leaks. So essentially what's happening here, guys, is that Kotaku, this professional site here and non-coercive, non-manipulative site, seems to want to spread the leaks and spread stuff because they didn't get advanced coverage. Because if they did get advanced coverage, I don't think this article would have went up. I don't think there's a lot of articles from IGN and all these other places that are covering all the different leaks because they were invited to play, and they also have a review that they're going to be doing as well. So they're not going to sit there and spoil everything beforehand. Kotaku isn't getting that, so therefore they're like, oh, well, we'll just leak everything right now, and we'll just go over all of the leaks. Talk about being unprofessional. Talk about being petty. That is absolutely hypocritical from these peeps. The fact that they're trying to sit there and say it's coercive or there's manipulating or they shouldn't be doing this as if they're entitled to it after some of the stuff that they wrote beforehand. No, you're not really entitled to anything, Kotaku. And Kotaku is not one of those websites that everyone is just like, oh my gosh, they are the pinnacle of journalistic integrity. No, nobody's even thinking that at all. So it is what it is with Kotaku. Some people feel that it's okay for them to do it. Some people feel that it's not. I'm just looking at it from the outside and looking in. If I was Nintendo, I wouldn't give you guys anything based on some of the stuff here. And now the fact that you're going to be publishing leaks beforehand like this, yeah, blacklist confirmed for the foreseeable future. But let's talk about something that's a bit better here, guys. I will be giving away a Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch OLED model that'll be given away officially when the game drops. We'll be doing the drawing on there. So if you want to enter in to win, all you got to do is subscribe to the channel. Of course, hit the like button and check out the link in the description. There will be a community post. Just go ahead and comment on there. It'll probably be a basic question like, what's your favorite Legend of Zelda game or something like that. Go ahead and comment on there, and I will pick a winner. But you have to comment on there so I can track you and we can get your emails and we can discuss and exchange from there. So have to make sure that you go comment, and you can have an opportunity to win the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED. And it is a worldwide giveaway. I will ship this thing anywhere, but I do have it and it looks very, very good. Now, let's go in and let's get into the next topic here. And that's the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It looks like it's set to dominate for 2023, and it's probably something that I want to talk about more when it comes to Game of the Year and stuff like that as we get more of the big games that come out, and of course once Tears of the Kingdom comes out. But I'm looking through the Metacritic best rated games of the year, and right now it's looking a bit interesting. The top 3 games on this list are all remasters or remakes. For example, Metroid Prime Remastered is the top rated game of the year with a 94 percentage. Next up is Tetris Connected, which it's a Tetris game, came out back in February. That's a 93. Then Resident Evil 4 Remake. That has taken the 3rd spot, the 4th spot, and the 5th spot, but essentially just the 3rd spot because it's the same game. It's just different platforms, but they're all right around the same. It's a 93 at this point. Then after that, it's Moss Book 2. So Moss Book 2 with the 9 out of 10. So right now at this point, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is primed to have an above 93, 94 average, so it could be the best rated game of the year. Now, there are leaks and spoilers out there, but we will not be going over those. However, based on just some people teasing, from what I have heard, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is absolutely better in every single conceivable way in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And many people feel, based off of what's being said, that Tears of the Kingdom could get as high of a score, or maybe even a bit better than The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because it is that good. I am hearing incredible things about the soundtrack. I am hearing incredible things about the gameplay without any spoilers. And I'm hearing people just say, no, this is not even about $70 DLC. This is not even about a sequel. This is about a total evolution of what we thought. What you thought was good or what you thought was great with this game, as little as Nintendo showed beforehand, it blows away even those expectations that we had from the Mr. Aonuma gameplay presentation and also the 3rd official trailer beforehand. There are some incredible things that I don't know in this game, but people are talking as if this is going to be a game that is a 96, 97 rated title. And The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is rated 97, and I've discussed whether Tears of the Kingdom can get to that. And I've been a little bit hesitant to say that Tears of the Kingdom could match Breath of the Wild in score because it's a sequel. Often you don't see sequels, direct sequels to the games, do way better. It's usually a little bit less or right around the same. God of War Ragnarok, we've seen it before. However, this could be the exception based off of some of the stuff that's going around here. There is some incredible things happening. So Tears of the Kingdom has a very good opportunity to dominate 2023 with its score. It could be 2 to 3 points higher than any of the other games released. And another thing here is that when you talk about new games, not games that are remasters or re-releases or remakes, the next closest thing in 2023 is Moss Book 2, which that's not a real contender. It's got a 9 out of 10. It's probably a good game, but that's not a real contender. Hi-Fi Rush and Dead Space Remake are both there with an 89 average, so those games are going to be in consideration for Game of the Year as well. Hogwarts Legacy, that has an 87 or so. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, 87 or so. Right now, Tears of the Kingdom is looking to be the huge frontrunner for Game of the Year, which probably isn't a huge surprise to many people out there, but it's still something to note considering most of the best games released this year have been re-releases, remakes, remasters, something along that, with Metroid Prime Remastered being the #1 Metacritic ranked game. Now, we still have Starfield to come out, and I think that that's going to be a big game that can absolutely compete for Game of the Year. We also still, I think, have a Forza game that's coming out, although the last game that came out wasn't even nominated in some places, even though it had a really high, I think the best Metacritic rating for that year in 2021. And for Sony, we do have Spider-Man that's coming out. So that's going to be a big contender because Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and the Spider-Man game, those have high to mid 80s, so they can make the jump with that game too. But right now, it's looking like Tears of the Kingdom could dominate when it comes to the score. It could be the game that actually has multiple points higher than any of the other brand new releases that we haven't seen before. So this is absolutely exciting, and I think that fans are going to be very happy with Tears of the Kingdom. As obviously it's leaked, some people are playing, but once everybody gets their hands on it and we can all kind of talk about it in that type of way, this is awesome to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how Tears of the Kingdom will do professional reviews wise. I think I'm not going to give my official score prediction at this point. I'll do that a little bit closer to release in a big video where I analyze a few other things, but I do feel that this game, Tears of the Kingdom, is set to have at least a 95 rating. I think a 95 or higher is set based off of some of the stuff here. Could be wrong, but I think a 95 would not be a bad place to start out with Tears of the Kingdom. So what do you guys think about all the different stuff that we discussed here? And make sure you check out my previous Tears of the Kingdom videos. I've got plenty of Zelda content coming up, so make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment below, and check out some more videos right here on screen. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next video. Peace.